My screen.
So now we will do the meditation. Our meditation will be 3 slots of 10 minutes. So
I've done.
all of you should have knowledge of how to sit still.
Yeah, that's on
And main thing I suggest you to do is observe
computer.
stillness of your posture and sincerity of your motivation and serenity of your attention and simplicity of all the techniques.
All right.
So when I use the gong, first 10 minutes, during that you focus on your posture largely. And then second gong on your qualified round of breathing count forward. And then third is reverse counting of super qualified round of breathing. Hello again, everyone. Thank you for sitting still and doing the meditation with everyone today here at Marpa Center here in Tankari. Have you ever been to Tankari? Good. Yes. Well, if you haven't, you know where it is. We have small Dharma groups here and there everywhere, so we'll try to combine those Sundays that I visit different places so everybody can get to know your wider network of this fellowship of Sangha. And some of you have met, maybe, but some of you have not met. Is this, you can put that wherever you people can see the so the meditation is very important. If you aren't doing meditation, you are missing a lot. So being able to do meditation once or so regularly with others and regularly with yourself, all of that is very, very beneficial. We need Sangha. We need our community to do and learn from each other. So any effort that you can make to develop and boost your discipline to meditate more often than not is very good. So Sakya Losel Chodong hosts these kind of regular Sunday meditations. Even during COVID, we never stopped. We did even more. We actually widened our audience much more than during pre-COVID times. I sometimes give teachings through a group called Sakya Friends, and we always get about 1,200 people or more. So this is a monthly event. And now they're boosting even more into 68 countries. So I think we should take opportunity to learn the Buddha's incredible teachings and develop some discipline. So that's good that we have all of your company. Today's topic is understanding how to conquer our selfish concerns. That's exactly what the young prince Siddhartha did in order to conquer the selfish concerns. He had to recognize all his attachments, all his things that he has. He was blessed in many ways. He was born into the silver spoon. He didn't have to ask, and most of it all came just his as inheritance as birth. And so because of that, he found himself that the very situation that he was finding himself become more of a hindrance for the spiritual progress, and therefore he realized his position of being a king and prince and wealthy and strong was actually indulging into his gross ordinary self, but his really self wasn't best utilized. And so in order to recognize how he can best do that, he went in search of a method to conquer the ego. In Buddhism, there are 4 maras, 4 demons, if you like, not demon as some external things. We call them 4 maras. These 4, among those 4 maras, the 4th one is the most subtle one. The first one is a physical mara, physical evil, because we are basically completely we are totally physical. So we call skanda mara, because skanda means aggregates. So, and the second is klesha mara. Klesha is affliction mara. So we're basically harmed more by our own affliction on top of our body. Our body is actually enslaving our 6th sense mental consciousness to the extent of not having a say. It's always about what the body gets or don't get, and we're always, always trying to work for the body as that's going to be containable or protectable, even though body by definition is constantly is transient collection. It's a breaking all the time. It's like car that is more than 10 years, it's already always have problems. So you have a car problem. So the body problem, all the body problem is because the aggregate problem, and the aggregate problem takes most of our effort and energy and resources just to look after the body. So that's a body skanda mara. And the second one is affliction mara. Affliction mara is the anger and sadness and hurt and ill will and greed and jealousy and arrogance and all this. All these things are the what we call klesha mara. So the aggregate mara and klesha mara are intertwined. You couldn't distinguish one from other. Mm-hmm. Body desires comfort, and therefore affliction sort of entice the body, promise the body what it should get, and the desire afflicts the senses, obscures the senses. It desires the undesirable ones, and body thinks it is also desirable. And then, and when it gets what is undesirable, it gets disappointed, and then become angry. What do you got? And so the affliction is one after another, one perpetuates another. So you can see the affliction mara and the physical mara are very, very connected. If you're not so physical, if you have abstention from the physical mara, if you can conquer the physical mara, you have greater chance of conquering your afflictions. And that's why if you can restrain your body from wanting these, doing this, and so on, if you're able to abstain physical cravings, then you can also reduce kleshas. You can also reduce klesha of desire or craving or addiction or whatever. You can see they are very connected. And then the third one is the fear of death. Death, mrittu mara. Mrittu means death. The fear of death. Mara is the fear of death. The fear of death. We are fearing what is inevitably happening all the time. So basically, it's pointless. It's fruitless effort because we are dying all the time. We still pretend we are still alive. We are constantly dying, meaning body, meaning aggregates. The aggregates are not getting stronger, and so body itself is pretending I'm still the person, but the body itself has many omens and signs that it's not holding together. So it's got many parts not there, working or almost useless. And we are afraid. We are afraid of dying, aren't we? We are always afraid of dying. So this fear of dying is basically cause of all fears. Let us fear all these fears we have. Fear of flood, fear of fire, fear of theft, fear of robbery, fear of everything is fear of us losing every of those. And yet we will. We will lose all of them. We probably have no control for most of the things. It's already slipping out of hand, our slippery leather being pulled out of your hand. Right now, leather is a little long, so you think it's just some leather there. The most of them is already out of your hand. So, so what's the fear of losing another 3 feet long when you have lost 30 foot long already? 30-foot long leather has already slipped out of your hand. You only got 3 feet left. You're afraid you will lose the 3. I mean, you already lost the 30 feet. So what's the point of fearing you will lose the other 3? It's pretty useless, isn't it? Yeah, but people still don't want to accept death and plan to die. They still want to resist death and try to avoid it, try to deny it, and that's why the Dr. Kubler-Ross found that people find accepting death is the most difficult. First is denial. No, I will not die. First denial. Denial that we will. You just don't want to die. It's as simple as that. You've got important things to do. You still have lots of cakes to eat. As you have enough time to eat any cakes. You have many beaches to go to. You have many friends to meet. Oh, all this. We are never ready to die. So always a denial mode. So this denial of death is the fear. Is the fear of death. And then she talks about, then you really know that you will die because there are every signs, medical signs of you're going to die. Say a matter of a few years, then you feel angry. Then you're angry, You're so angry that you have to die. So denial followed by anger. And a lot of people's anger is all about that. Because they lost many people in their life, they couldn't stop them dying, and they themselves are already 1 feet in the coffin, and so they're angry. Why should I be dying? Why should I be dying? I want to do this. I don't want to die in this condition. I got not this one to die. So it's never convenient to die. So fear, and denial. First is fear, fear. This is the subject is the denial, fear of death, mritumara. We are constantly haunted by fear. We will die, and yet we will. It's incredible. So you have to have faith. You should die. I will die. Who cares about this not happening? That not going right? Things like that. Very good for you. You should have faith. I'm going to die. So what's the problem? He can't do anything. If he's not happy with you, it doesn't matter because you'll be dead before he can. So you can't please everybody. Don't worry. They will be very happy when you're dead. And they wouldn't have you to have the problem with. So what's your problem? You see, the problem is your aggregate still standing on the feet and occupying that seat. If you died, they will be out of sight, out of mind. You would be a great cause of relief to them. So you bring a lot of peace to other people. So why are you worried about dying? Yeah, so I don't know why we have to taboo the death so much. We should have faith that we will die. Death is certain, and I'm on my way to it. And I don't worry about that. I don't want to worry about settling that. If they want to think like that, then they do this. Or you couldn't make enough income or enough profit. It doesn't really worry. It doesn't really matter. See, we are afraid instead that we will solve all the problems. by dying. So this is Devaputra Mara. That's the third Mara. And fourth is the selfish concern. This Devaputra Mara, son of the god. You are so important. You are the son of the god. You are the daughter of the god. So because you are the most important one. So our topic really is this one, this selfish concern, how to understand the selfishness and likelihood of learning to conquer. All our sufferings and problems have true origin of suffering is selfish concern. If you really, on a really advanced Buddhist thinking, monistically thinking, the root cause of our suffering is selfish concern. We don't call negative karma. We don't call people. We don't call even affliction. We call it selfish concern. Selfish concern is the parent of all the afflictions, basically. Ahankara, this grasping to me. I am. I am mine, and I am. This is the root cause of suffering. So therefore, Prince Siddhartha, when he left home, he definitely wanted to conquer these 4 months. He just completely renounced the bodily well-being, and he allowed the body to be emaciated, to lose weight, to lost the appetite for food, no craving for company, no craving for wanting to a nice place. He's just a tree. Just a tree, that's it. He gave up all his attachment that the body is wanting. The body is so used to having, and he realized that the more comfort you are having, the less you will succeed their meditation. And so therefore, he sought solitude. So if you want to conquer your selfish concern, first you try to conquer your aggregate. We're always trying to please the aggregate. If the aggregate feel good, we don't practice. We think it's really good. Oh, this is so good. Aggregate a little bit, please. That's all. If the aggregate is suffering, then our practice doesn't happen. But our attachment to the aggregates and try to protect it as it is protectable, which is a fallacy. Our aggregate is impure, unsubstantial, hollow, meaningless, and most of the time a burden, cause of our hindrance to our achieve spirituality. So therefore, first we have to conquer the aggregate of the self. Aggregate of the self, isn't it? Aggregate of self. Usually we are not. We are always enslaved by the aggregate. Our mind and our consciousness is completely enslaved by the aggregates, and the aggregates refer to body, feeling, activities, perception, volition, consciousness. This all just overrules your mind as you have lost your mind or sensibility to it. Quite a lot of time, very few people are able to practice any form of true meditation, true Buddhist retreat. They cannot. They don't like solitude. They have to go far away from the noise and company, demands, duties, activities, attention of others. You've got to be able to put them all aside and then do the meditation. If you really wanted to conquer the ego, selfish concern, you gotta conquer your aggregates, and then attachment to people, other aggregates. This is bad enough. They want to have other aggregates. They want to attach other aggregates. So that's why Prince Siddhartha renounced all aggregates. He says that the birds and wildlife wouldn't demand too much of him, and so he sought tree and quietness and distance from everyone, And therefore, near and dear, he didn't want to even let his family and friends know where he went, because you don't tell people where you're going if you really want to do practice. You tell them, I'm there, this is my number, just in case. Oh gosh, yes. It's just in case your aggregate explodes, is it? I mean, it is exploding already. Falling away in pieces anyway. So what the hell are you trying to protect again? See, most people are so limited in time when they can do retreat meditation. If they do, but they want to this, it's just disastrous. They're creating disasters. So you have to renounce, like throw the sputum. If you throw the sputum, do you try to get it back in your mouth? No, the renunciation should be like throwing the sputum. Yeah, so you try not to swallow it back. Yeah, so you should just leave the place and go and do the valuable. Then you are letting the aggregate to become used like a boat for the very purpose to sail and go across the other shore. You're not polishing, you're not, decorating the boat and never sailing 1 inch. So we can't conquer the selfish concern because we're completely attached to body. We not only think body is mine, but we think we are the body. So we have fundamental error that we think we are the body. And when your body is showing sign of wear and tear, then we become upset. I'm becoming sick. I'm getting old. And your age is a lot. You're light, Light doesn't say, oh, I'm 30-year-old. Light is unageable. You're light. You want to claim your light, or you want to claim your aggregates? You're mistaking yourself, thinking you're aggregates, and that's why you couldn't conquer the ego, because if you conquer the ego, you have reduce your attachment to aggregates. The reducer of your attachment to aggregate is a sign of lessening of your affliction mara. So you have to have those first 3 maras conquered before you can conquer the actual subtle selfishness. Of course, many people are able to practice asceticism to seek one with God. You don't have to be Buddhist. Even Buddhism came before Buddhism. There are lots of people who practice extreme asceticism, and a Buddhist asceticism is only second. You have no idea how ascetic many Indians are practicing, used to practice, are still practicing even today. They really are renunciate. They really have a little mat and a water container and a really simple clothing. And they really don't believe in having possession of anything. And they're always squatting under someone's veranda or somewhere on the street. They never seek any comfort for this. They're totally devoted and renunciate to practice. This is happening even now. There's lots of people do extreme physical asceticism, but still for the purpose is to become one with God. Devotion is one with God, which is quite admirable. But one with God, who's God? How can you become one with Him? Maybe He doesn't exist. Anyway, so let's not go there. That's a totally different area of problem. But say you are Buddhist and you want to practice your form of asceticism. Most Buddhist practitioners, asceticism is so that you balance your physical renunciation with your mind. So therefore, the Buddha himself practiced lots of physical asceticism. Later on, he taught middle way. Middle way. So you don't drive your body to extreme asceticism to the extent of torturing or wasting away, that you don't have any of your bodily energy left. to practice anything, you know. So body is not really enemy. Your misuse of it is. Your skillful dispensation, it might even be useful. So therefore, body should be treated with respect, not to enslave it. So anyway, so slowly in this way, when we wanted to understand how to conquer selfish concern, we have to see the relationship between us as a practitioner in relation to how much you are a slave to the body or master of the body. When you become the master of the body, where you are able to, you're not impeded by the bodily cravings and laziness from your practice. They don't. You basically have the super fitness to be able to direct your energy to do the practice, and body does not whinge and dissuade you. So when you have the ability to do that, even your body suffers, you just say, that's useful suffering. I suffer all the time anyway, so why not suffer like the Buddha under the tree and make him lose weight or go emaciated for holy purposes, you know? His whole body become relic. His teaching become relic of relic. So you know, how many people become immortal like that, you know? We are mortal anyway, so his body is not preservable. So in any way, you try to therefore minimize your subservient attitude towards the body, that you are master of the body. You tell the body to do, you also make sure the body is not exposed to unnecessary danger or self-mortification or extreme form of those practices, which a lot of people do, fanatically do. They do all kinds of self-torture in the name of whatever, belief, God, purification, and so on. Having said that, one still needs to make sure that one do conquer the physical mind, and then use the physical energy as your friend, so that body does not impede your spiritual progress, but actually, so then there is this mind that actually is able to conquer the selfish concern related with the body, but body become more useful to boost your ability to practice, control your selfish concern that's related to the body and also related with affliction. How do you know? Then you can see you can renounce quite a bit. You can give up this, give up this, give up that, and give up various cravings, wantings, to your feelings, not just body, just feeling also. You know, lots of people say, I love this, I hate this, I love this, I hate this. You know, you will reach a state that's such a childish thing to do. I love this, I hate this, I love this, I hate it. You have ability to remain equanimously controlling your feelings, so you're not choppy feelings. Your feelings are impermanent, they're transient. No matter what you do, they won't last. So you don't get attached to pleasant feelings. You don't have aversion to negative feelings. You don't neglect the neutral feelings. All feelings are also object of equanimity. You do not become attached to pleasant feeling. You don't develop aversion to unpleasant feeling. You see them as bubbles. You know how many bubbles appears and bursts, and you say, "Oh, this is such a nice bubble. I don't want this to be burst." You know, well, feelings and Buddhism says they are bubbles, and they will burst, however big ones they like. Bigger the one, quicker they will blow. So don't get attached to pleasant feelings. You know, there's something going magical, but yeah, wait a minute. So don't become attached to feelings. So then you will conquer your feelings as well, because aggregate or physical aggregate, then feeling aggregate, then your perception aggregates. Some people are so much suffering their perception. They see something and they think that's it. They frame it up and they think there's nothing to it but that. They couldn't change their perception, opinion about someone or something, and they're stuck in their perception. So you should detach from the perception. These are figment of my own anger. These are figment of my own attachment. You should therefore not authenticate them as serious and real. Your perception are illusion. This is also Buddha's teaching. all your perception are mirages. You know, mirage only appears in a certain landscape. But when you go to the mirage, there's not a single drop of water. So like that, all your perception are mirages. So that's therefore you conquer the aggregate of perception. You know, so physical, feeling, perception. Because lots of people still don't want to change their opinion about him or her or themselves. They still are so they're completely prisoned in this wrong perception. We call imperception, invalid perception, mistaken perception. When you know mistaken perception as mistaken perception, you would not want to do that perception, will you? Yeah. Yeah. All things that you knew are wrong. That's the headline in fortnightly Tankai news. All you knew are wrong. Maybe Foster will share that.
I'll give it back.
You give it back. Yeah, no local newspaper will share. They'll also share that news. It's such a useful news. All you knew were basically wrong. Good. Yeah, that's a good news because then you have a reprieve. Oh God, I'm glad my mother wasn't that bad. Or I thought she was hard, but then she's just not. I was thinking she was, but it's all wrong. Gosh, you know. And then you realize the opposite. See, this is how you conquer. This is how you conquer the gross bit, gross sense of selfish concerns, all your feelings, all your perceptions, all your. And the fourth is the activity, the volition. Fourth aggregates volition. Volition is the things you did, things you think people did to you. See, even your perceptions are not really perceptions. It's what they did to you. And you think they did. And you then form opinion, perception with the volition, sanskara. You know, all volitions are just like water, ripples of the water. You know, they are combination of many things. There is no ripple water by itself. It's so there are many other factors that he made him to do that to you or to him or to himself. He was completely out of his control what he did. He wasn't the author of it. This is very good. Yeah. So then you have you dismantle your views, opinions. Why? Oh, some people say, I did this to you. I cared for you so many years. I loved you so much. I gave you so much. This is what you do to me. And all that stuff. Yeah. So you're attached to you're aversive to other people's doing. These four aggregates, all the actions. He did this to me. Why should I do this? This sort of thing. This kind of meanness. We should see all actions are interdependently originated. There are many hidden causes that person did that he didn't even have a clue what he was doing to himself, let alone you. Think like that, and then you will see the action is not truly independently existing from its own side at all. So form aggregate, feeling aggregate, perception, volition. And now, last is consciousness. You have to be conscious of all the above. Then you have consciousness. Otherwise, you're unconscious. You're dead anyway. Why you have to be afraid that you will die? If you don't know, if you don't have the conquest of the first four aggregates, you're already dead. So what's the fear of you dying? Oh, these dead people. Dead people wearing the name badges and introducing it. I'm dead Simon. I'm dead George. I'm dead Nancy. Yeah, how can we How can we raise their consciousness? How can we resuscitate these dead people who are not breathing properly? We're talking about conquering the ego, conquering the selfish concern. First, work on those four aggregates. The one who works on the four aggregate and become conscious of the unconsciousness of these four aggregates. This will then sort of alight you through your perception, through your feeling. When you're feeling something, you will not drown in it. You will see that as a bubble. You will see some have an opinion, you don't see them as real. These are all figment of your desire, your attachment, and you do not identify that with the object. You see that as your own projection. So then when you are able to have this conscious, now wakefulness, then you're aware. And now you're aware of all the things. There are no things that are not other than your imputation. Your unconsciousness may make you to see things, make you feel things, make you do things, make you think people did this. But in reality, all of these things are a result of one who has lost his own sensibility and therefore unable to conquer the selfish concerns. So the selfish concern is, from Mahayana's point of view, if we come to realize all sufferings, true origin of suffering is our selfish concern as the root cause of suffering. And so all our sufferings are a result of that. And so if we want to remedy all the suffering, we should not do selfish concern and to experience selflessness. So if you're doing things every day in your life, you're completely generous, you're completely kind, you're completely giving, and you have no selfish concern, but you just want to help others. And you are delighted that you are in that mood. You are delighted at that state of awareness that you feel completely beyond the physical, emotional, or the four other aggregates. You are totally conscious. You're conscious of the consciousness, the Buddha nature within you. What conquers the selfish concern is bodhisattvic principle. You have to conceive bodhicitta. If you conceive bodhicitta, then you start taking steps to conquer the selfish concern. Because bodhicitta is selflessness, not just ontologically and philosophically, but behaviorally. So that means you have to enshrine bodhicitta in your daily practice. You need to put that as your goal number one. Whether you meditate, whether you prostrate, whether you study, whether you do community work, whatever you do, in any form or shape, what you do, you should have that, install that, download that app. It's free. Yeah, you don't need to take photo or anything like that. You just have to hear this and believe this, and then just honor that bodhicitta. And you need to renew that every day. When we say, in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, I take refuge until essence and I reach, by merit of giving and the like, may I reach Buddhahood to aid all beings. That's very succinct. May I aid all beings. So So it's not just you are in front of a little Buddha statue in your room. You've got to say, you've got to do that before you work. You've got to do, wherever you are, you should try to bring the bodhichitta and then try to do it in a very, very genuine, selfless way that you can do with colleague, with your friend, with the strangers, whatever it is. You try to see this incredible consciousness of having bodhicitta as your bodhicitta. Totally naturally, the benefit of bodhicitta is as soon as you install bodhicitta, you're already there. You're already taking the first step. Your concern is not so much you and your aggregates, you about your feeling, you about what you did or others didn't. These are not the concerns. What you can do with the spirit of selflessness, and so you have to be completely boosted by this understanding, comprehension of the importance of bodhicitta, and then embrace it. Embrace it and make daily vows to not to lose it. And it amounts to behavior of the person who have bodhicitta is kindness, is loving kindness and compassion through the acts of small words, deeds, thoughts, all with that, and just doing it for the sake of others, not for the sake of you getting some boost out of it. You don't even have to worry. You know for sure that bodhicitta does not need to look for the profitability of it to you. If you're looking for what is in for me again type of thing, you have lost the plot again. So bodhicitta, you shouldn't even doubt of its usefulness and benefit. And so you can feel the lightness, the joy, the incredible usefulness, and in you, never mind how difficult, unruly the sentient beings are. The more the unruly the sentient beings are, the more they are the best subject with which you should try your bodhicitta. Because you've been there in that aggregate before. You've been there in this pool of their feelings. And you know exactly where they are, and they have no sign of beginning to know that. So therefore, do not show any contempt or anger or whatever, but see them what you were used to be in that situation. So when you have this, you don't get agitated by the flow or problems of other people. Instead, they become cause of your compassion, your forgiveness, your loving kindness.
Should you go out of your way to do that?
Out of your way. Yeah, it is. Bodhicitta is to go out of your way.
Yeah,
you have to go out of your way to meet the other person's need.
Yeah.
And so that because you don't have a way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Your way is to meet the need of others. Because now it's selflessness is the practice. And there is no self that has a way. It's the way to serve others with the spirit of bodhicitta. Of course, you, depending to your level of intelligence and skill and experience, you need to take gentle steps. Mm-hmm. First, give the right hand to the left hand. Just feel like, oh, what's like giving from right hand to left hand? Even though it's in your own hand to your own hand. So first try to give small things, Because usually most people are always think of themselves first. Now start to think of others first and oneself last. That's the whole idea, whole shepherd-like bodhisattva. We have been like king-like bodhisattva many times before. And they overthrew the monarch system, remember that? So don't try to be a righteous king like Bodhisattva. You want everybody to treat you like king, and then you look after them like very good king to the subject. The second version is boatmen like Bodhisattva. Boatmen like Bodhisattva is that we are in all the same boat. You look after each other. If you do this, I'll do this stuff. If you pay the fare, I'll take you on the other shore. If you don't, sorry, there's no room for you. This kind of shit. But the shepherd is no, shepherd. Every members of the flock has to be looked after. So he exposes himself to the leopard or the dog or whatever it is. He let all his flock to safety. So therefore, you put all the other sentient beings' well-being first. And because you've been there before so many times, uselessly and unconsciously, now that you have been enlivened, you have discovered the consciousness. all these dead people need to be revived. We need to be resuscitated. And resuscitated, give them the breath, give them the breath. It says in the Bodhisattva vows, may I give breath to the breathless. Yeah, actually, their teaching is giving new breath for them to live wisely, kindly, compassionately, not become too physical, not become too emotional, not become too, I see this is my thing, this is my view, that kind of, this is what I did, this is he did to me. If you do all that, then you end up first for aggregates, Yahweh back. But there's no sign of conquest of the selfish concern. So sign of the selfish concern is you're becoming, slowly you're able to reduce your craving, attachment, desire, and therefore anger, jealousy, all of these, because these are related with how many things you are going to give up for the sake of peace with you and others. It might be just even for your health. The body actually doesn't need so much sweet, doesn't need so much fatty foods, and yet you are liking to eat just them. And so actually have a consciousness that says, look, you can't have what you like. Full stop. You have to have things you don't like. So being able to mother your body so that it doesn't get spoiled by its own attachment to taste. So you're actually able to renounce quite a lot of things. You actually can look after your health much better if you can give up a number of things. So you have to reduce your attachment, craving, and desire. Then both affliction and physical aggregate, emotional aggregates, feeling aggregate and physical aggregates, they're very, very connected. So if you're not controlling your feelings, emotion, you can't control your body at all. And that's why you need to, even in painful situations, you just sit in the meditation. Even the pain persists, you should sit there. You should conquer your physical aggregate by your consciousness that you need to sit and never mind the pain. Let the pain become useful to purge your attachment to your comfort-seeking mind. And Buddha sat not because it was comfortable, because he needed to conquer his aggregate skandamara. Then when the maras actually hurled weapons to him, they all turned flower. They all turned flower garland. They never landed and hit on his. They all become, everything they threw at him, they all turned flower, because he has overcome attachment to the body. His body is not liable to suffer, because he has no attachment to it. So you don't suffer body if you have no attachment to it. When we are attached to it, then we can't even conquer our body, let alone our feeling, let alone our perception, let alone action. And so that's why meditation is so important. when you meditate, you will, particularly in this posture, it's good. Today we are doing that. We have 2 sessions, and afternoon we have 2 more sessions. We really wanted to to tell the body what the heck you are doing for me. Please pull the socks up and sit with me. so until you sit, long hours, many hours, go to solitude, spend long time. We are not conquering even the skandha mark, not even the physical mark. The rupa skandha mark. We can't even conquer the body, let alone feeling. Why people are sad and hurt and depressed because they are all, you can see their body is so pale and so, because they are completely drained in the poor me feelings. And they are eating right food, they have really wonderful things in this country, but they are not getting any nutrients. They're just eating the wrong stuff, wrong amount. They're only pleasing the craving. They don't know how to abstain what is harmful for their body, they're drinking alcohol, smoking terrible things, using various harmful substances, taking sleeping tablets, always taking pills without actually learning to deal with the thing. All this, people are so lost into this because they can't control their feelings, the emotion, the body. They're completely addicted to these sensations. So they need to do long meditation, long retreat. Yeah. Always, all sign up for a 10-day retreat. Very good for you. Don't put off saying, not me, not now. Just sitting even a few sessions like that, among others, it will starting to regain your consciousness. You realize. So important to have a grip of understanding of what is selfish concerns. When we don't have meditation, we always, through our behavior, you can see where you deal with someone in your life or what they are like, you're just so impatient, so discourteous to each other, so unwilling to make peace. They're still holding ill will, and still think they wronged me, and no intentions change the opinions. They have nobody told them what they knew was wrong. And they were told it was right. It is your story, my dear. Tell me what happened next. I'll see you next Monday, okay? Okay. If someone is massaging your ego, as you have been at the hand of some difficult people who treat you badly, and you are all a bit of a victim of what other people did. Don't give them power to that. Your mind, you have to regain your consciousness. Mm-hmm. Sure, people are deluded and just like you. So others are no less deluded than you. So one deluded on top of another deluded makes it really double delusion. So no wonder why neither is happy with each other, because neither is wise enough not to do any of the wrong things. They say the wrong things, they make the wrong move, they react to poor things, and they have completely lost to the demon of ego. Yes, and this is a big problem. So when we say Buddha is one who conquered the 4 maras, who accomplished 6 qualities. If you don't conquer the maras, you don't have the 6 qualities. Conquering maras will give you those 6 parameters. So a little bit of study, prayer, meditation, and whatever work you do with people, it's always good to be conscious of how easy it is to be unconscious, becomes attached to me and mine, to the body, me and mine to the feeling, me in mind with my perception. Oh, you don't listen. You don't respect my opinion. Why should I? And that sort of thing. Completely. If you agree to his or her opinion, just for the sake of peace, you will really gain friendship from that. You will not lose yourself, but you will find a friendship that you were losing with the other person, because they know that you gave in something. Not because you are wrong, right, and they're wrong. It's because you want to help, be kind to each other. And then slowly, you can have a more positive influence to them to have a way that is mutually beneficial. Otherwise, these two people are pulling each other, tearing each other, and even though they're far, they still are full of anger. They have left each other, but the anger has not left. The anger is completely kept as if it's even more stronger, because they're so deluded. They're so deluded what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing, thought-wise, emotion-wise, opinion-wise, choice-wise. They are so wrong, but they don't know. Nobody tells them they're wrong. Because they don't listen to their heart. They don't sit quietly to reconstitute their mind in meditation. If they meditate, something will twinkle. Ah, this is the thought. This is the opinion. I should not hold anymore. It's a mirage. I'm thinking this is right view. I should delete these thoughts, delete these views. And then you can feel lighter, you can see whether you're conquering selfish concern or not, because you have less negativities towards other people. You have a lot of goodwill towards other people and towards your past. And you don't have a lot of guilt even to your past so much. You have softness towards your kindness towards yourself. And then, so it's very, very important to learn to take steps to conquer the selfish concerns. Selfish concern is the demon of demons. It's cause of all your upset and setbacks and unhappiness. What other people appear to do is just consequences of the selfish concerns of you and them. If both, it doesn't help. One is bad enough, because if you have selfish people, it's not just in just one or two. You're looking at another, and so because of that, you need to restrain from the proximity of such people, and therefore give them the space, you the space, and then regain your own consciousness that you are becoming unconscious. And meditation, teaching, study of Dharma, listening to the teachings, and then starting to verify how true they are, though difficult to do them. You don't have to accept blindly just because you heard it. You don't accept just because they seem right, but you got to test. You got to use until you become so changed by it that you almost regain your consciousness. You almost feel uplifted by it to the extent of able to make us considerable changes and shifts, awakenings. Okay, we may take a few minutes of questions. If you have people, please feel free to do so. Those who are here and those who are there, those who are in between.
When you're speaking, I thought also the judgment, not to judge, not to judge. Can you speak to us about
Yeah.
judgment?
Yeah, judgment is to do with both perception and action, because judgment is a negative action. And judgment is usually caused by a wrong perception. And so you judge perceptually, and then you judge mentally. Then you hold this is right and wrong, and then you think that you are the judicator, and then you busybody yourself, that you are above it type of thing. So judgment is terrible, terrible cause of suffering. So we have to the remedy for judgment is humility. When you see faults in someone, you should see, oh, you know, I have many more than that. You should think like that. I have many more and dissimilar to them. Because you spot theirs very easily. I have very dissimilar, but a lot more complicated than theirs. And then instead of busying yourself to judge them, you realize, you know, how dare I try to throw a stone at him or pass judgment to him or her when I have many flaws myself. So then you are abstaining from doing judgment, but actually show compassion to them for what they are, and they too are sentient beings. All sentient beings have flaws. Actually, most of them have 84,000 flaws. If you spotted half a dozen, you shouldn't be shocked. You should say, I saw only 3 of his, and I got 84,000. So what does that make difference? You know? So incredible. Some people take few precepts themselves and they start to observe them and they think they become very pure. And then they all of a sudden give themselves license to judge others. That's the hazard of self-discipline. You take on some precepts, doesn't mean everybody should or live or do exactly what you do. You know. What if you took precept not to smoke, and then you think everybody shouldn't smoke? You know, you wish you could have a positive influence to stop smoking in the world, but doesn't mean that we should have a judgment to other people to when they smoke. Even though you know that if it's somebody under your influence, you will gently try to dissuade them from smoking. But how even then you got to be very careful because you probably have been smoking yourself before. And anyway, so you have to. Oh, I too used to smoke, but it took a while for me to give up. Now here I spot other people, so you realize they too have chance to do that. But how do you positively influence them to do that? So judgment is a sign of arrogance, sign of lack of humility, sign of one who doesn't know he has his own demons to conquer. Only selfish person judges others. So sign of selfishness not being conquered. So judgment is incredible. You wouldn't believe if someone says, oh, did you know he's like that? Do you know he's like that? She's like that. And you all of a sudden join in the reaction. Gosh, how dare he do that? And then you completely forget that that's none of your business. Does not concern you. If you are in a position to influence them positively some way or another, you should. But what makes you judge when you have just as many flaws? It doesn't mean we should turn a blind eye, and as that's none of our business either. We should still feel compassion to sentient beings. Many sentient beings are living in this without anyone helping to correct their ways. And this is why sentient beings are drowned in the ocean, and very few are rescuing them because they don't meet the Dharma. They don't meet good friends. They don't get good doctrine. They don't get good examples. And so they don't know what they're doing, poor thing. So one needs to have remote compassion to them rather than become furious with people like that. And people do those things. So judgment is really hazardous. It's another sign of the unconquered selfish concern. Yeah?
When we're meditating, with the eyes shut, open. Because I find myself with the eyes shut easier
Mm-hmm.
to visualize.
Yeah. Temporarily, it's easier. Aggregate suggests us that you should keep your eyes shut. If you are really good meditator, you should transcend the ability to keep the eyes still half open and not distracted by the visual things, because your primary consciousness is on the object of meditation, not what you see things. But meditation techniques such as karma abiding meditation technique does not suggest to close eyes. It definitely doesn't. But other forms of meditation, relaxation meditation, some visualization, all of those may be useful to keep your eyes closed. So when we do the karma abiding, it definitely is not a closed eye option. It's one of the 7 physical posture, is one of the is eyes. And that it says I should focus on the tip of nose, on the floor, and not close, and say not blinking. So not blinking means you're supposed to stay open. So it's very clear, one of them. But when you do other prayers like chanting or visualization, that you are assisted by the chanting or the visualization, and you might find it easier to focus better, visualize better by closing eyes. Then it's a totally different matter. So some meditation definitely are like that. You can see that people who do that, a lot of chanting, most of the people who know the prayers by heart, they're chanting, they're all sitting there, they're basically closing eyes. They close the eyes because they can focus better on the meanings of the word and the visualization, the feeling, when they keep eyes closed. But with calm abiding, you are trying to develop the right physical posture, including the gaze of eyes. Try to see the insight, not try to block the seeing. We are trying to see the invisible to the naked eye. So softly gazing eyes, looking at the tip of the nose on the floor, is very clear instruction in all teaching. People who do yoga and other non-Buddhist meditation, relaxation, they all tell you to close eyes, because they are only doing it to make you feel good temporarily. Temporarily feel good, temporarily you relax, but they are not letting you try and to teach you to see any insight on anything. Their main purpose is to temporarily, stationarily feel relaxed and calm. So relaxation meditation, some healing form of meditation, they all suggest to close. Remember, Buddhist meditation has a completely different purpose. It's never meant to make you to feel good and like that. It never says, how was your meditation? You know, I joined years ago, and this was the early 80s, when I was persuaded by a student. He said, I should take up counseling. So I did an introduction course to counseling that was like a couple of months after I got right to Australia. And then there's this counseling course where one of the things there was relaxation meditation. You should to counsel other people. So this lady said, oh, she was going to teach meditation. So I was there, of course. I'm going to learn meditation, relaxation meditation as part of counseling. There were like 12 of us all sit together. And she said, this will be just 10 minutes, but really, really good. Almost she's making us promise that you will all see something and experience something. Anyway, we did that. We did just that. We said only 10 minutes. Then she kept asking, what did you see? What did you see? How did you feel? And she asked us to close our eyes. And then so, one strange thing about that is one of the person sitting opposite to me, and he said, I saw a monk behind him.
That was you.
Yeah.
That was you.
Well, well, I don't know. I don't know. You know, so some people try to tune in, and maybe they quickly get some. So that kind of meditation, people close and try to imagine, try to see something, try to feel something. Of course, you will do that. You know, because we are very sensitive, and straight away some things pop up, and they think that's the amazing experience of meditation. They start talking about that. So there are such phenomena. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much joining me and Marpa Center here up in Tankari. Please know that we have Sangha up here. And thank you very much. Let's do the dedication of merits into your yellow folder at the bottom. You should always, when you meditate, you should always say the prayers. If you don't want to do the prayers, read the reflection of karma by meditation. At the end, you should always see what was whatever little benefit I did today, may this have some beneficial kind of things that I can share with others, and think of all the other people. So dedication merit is very, very important. These days, people are trying to make Buddhist meditation too secular. They don't want to do any of the things. They want to strip away everything, which is quite dangerous. So those who are exposed to teachings, go to centers, groups, sangha, you should try to keep the structure with the refuge at the beginning, and don't get up in the meditation in the middle of it. Try to have the session finished properly and then dedicate it for others. So that's what we're going to do. Adeva mereraya meo bebe gazdelevaz Jehoda mahayana jije Hareja manju shenyodi Ezaman teva dredelaiwa Follow him, oh, de zamba, asha de ge, oh, de me de zele, bodi jida, eva, vera, na, ya, raza, vera, zemba, me, de, prele, Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you next time, next Sunday on this channel.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Can I just mention that this afternoon, after the teachings are finished, we're going to do a short practice.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Passed away. If you're interested in seeing what that's about, hang around.
What time?
We finish about 4:30, so it'll be straight after. It takes about 3/4 of an hour. Yeah, so if you're interested. We'll do that as well. Yes, it's an additional. Yeah, and if you have got a donation for the center and for Rinpoche, there's a box under the urn there. If you'd like to put that in at lunch, the earlier the better, so that I can work on the accounts. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah. Mhm.
Do you have a second? Just got to turn back to Dharma.
Okay.
No worries.
Each computer will I do that?
No, I got it.
Yeah.